Hi friends, thank you all for your strong support, likes and subscriptions. So today we will have a discussion about the topics such as programming languages and software. So before moving on to our discussion topics, we need to understand the importance of using a language. A language is used for communicating. A language is used to express our ideas. A language is used to share our thoughts. In our real world, we can see a lot of languages: English, Malayalam, Hindi, etc. Some of the languages, some examples of languages. See, if I'm residing in Kerala, if I met my friend in Kerala, first of all I will ask a question that Sugale. If I met my friend who is residing in US, if I met that guy, I will ask the question that how are you? So each language, whether it's Malayalam, whether it's Tamil, whether it's English, whether it's Hindi, each language consists of a lot of keywords. We are communicating by coordinating these keywords in a meaningful and logically connected manner. So we will discuss here about the programming languages. We are using programming languages in order to communicate with a computing system. A computing system is actually a machine. A machine can able to understand only the machine languages, which will be in the form of 1, 0, 0, 1, etc. The other name of machine language is binary language. So as a programmer, as a human being, we will be using the high level languages such as C, C++, Java, etc. We are communicating with the computer with the help of these languages, and we are translating these high level languages into a machine language. And then we will discuss about the software, the two different categories of software, what are the importance of using these two softwares. So now we can move on to our topic. So friends, we are moving to discuss the programming language and software. So before we starting the discussion of programming language, we need to understand the importance of using a language. Why we are using a language? We can see a lot of real world languages: English, Malayalam, Tamil, etc. Some of the real world languages. See, I am from Kerala, so here in Kerala we are communicating with the help of a language named as Malayalam. Mainly a language is used for communication. We can express our ideas, we can express our thoughts, we can share our ideas, we can convey our feelings to anybody. So the main goal of a language is communication or sharing ideas in a meaningful manner or in a logically connected manner. There are a lot of languages in our world. Each language consists of a lot of keywords. Keywords have a predefined meaning. We are communicating in a language with the help of these keywords. See the example of a communication with the help of a language. Here in these slides you can see two persons, person A and person B. Both of them are speaking in English. That is, both of them can easily understand the keywords used in the language named as English. And here person A is asking a question to person B that how are you? And person B is responding to the question in this manner, I am fine. So person B can easily understand the meaning of the question asked by person A. That is the reason why person B is giving a spontaneous reply to the person A. Next we can see another example related to the communication with the help of language. This slide is slightly different from the slide that we have already discussed. Here you can see person A speaking in English and person B speaking in Malayalam. So these two persons are from different domains. So how they will communicate? How can we make their communication in a simple and in a meaningful manner? So there comes the importance of a translator. So definitely person A will be asking a question in English. Person B cannot able to understand that question. So person B needs the help of a translator. So person B has to translate the words used in English into Malayalam.
So person B is asking a question, person A is asking a question to person B that, are you fine? And first of all, that question will be moved on to a translator. Translator will translate that keywords used in English into Malayalam. So person B can understand that what question is being asked by person A, and person B will be replying to the question that Sugamayirikkunnu. So this is how the communication will be working with the help of a translator. If two persons are from different domain, we need the help of a translator in order to translate the language. See, here we are using two languages, English and Malayalam. So the translator will translate English into Malayalam and also Malayalam into English in order to have a proper and meaningful communication. Next, we are moving on to the computer language. We already know that computer is a machine. A machine can only able to understand a binary or a machine language. Usually that language will be in the form 1 0 0 1 1 1 etc. So how a person speaking in high level language, for example English, can communicate with a machine, for example a computer which is speaking or which can able to understand the language named as binary language. So here comes the working figure of a person speaking in high level language to a machine language speaking computer. So here you can see a person who is speaking or using a high level language for communications. In the real world we can see a lot of high level languages like C, C++, Java, PHP, ASP, JSP, etc. are the examples of high level language. So we will communicate to a computer or a computing system with the help of this high level language. So that high level language queries will be moved on to a translator. Here the translator will be a compiler or interpreter. The main job of a compiler or interpreter is to translate the high level language code into a machine language code. Machine language code means it will be in the binary form, that is 1 0 1 1 0 1 etc. See, since we are humans, we are not able to understand these machine codes or this machine language. It is very much difficult for us in order to grasp an idea about machine language. So we need the help of a translator like compiler or interpreter in order to communicate with a computer or a computing system. So this is a working behind the communication of a human being with a computing system. Next, in the case of a computer language, we can see three different categories or three different types of computer language is existing in our real world. The first one is high level language, which is understandable to the human beings in a simple manner. The second one is assembly language, and the third one is machine language. So first of all, we can discuss about high level language. What do you mean by high level language? A high level language is usually similar to the language named as English. So it will be very much helpful for the programmers in order to develop the particular softwares that is useful to the community. See, in the real world we can see a lot of high level languages like C, C++, Java, PHP, etc. If we are moving to develop a particular games or a particular system software, we will choose the high level language such as C or C++. See, if we are going to develop a particular web applications or web oriented applications, we will select the language such as PHP or ASP or JSP, etc. If we are moving towards an application development, we will choose a language such as Java. And we are using a lot of database oriented languages such as SQL, MySQL, SQLite, etc. So these languages are treated as high level languages because it is easily understandable to humans. We can easily code in a high level language. We can easily rectify the errors that is present in a high level language. The high-level language will help us to simplify the programming, so we can easily develop the particular software that is helpful for executing in a system, or we can easily develop particular applications which will be very much helpful in executing in a mobile platform. So these are the features of a high-level language. High-level language is similar to the English and is specifically designed to simplify the computer programming. It will help us to develop the program in a simple and in a less complex manner. It enables the development of a program in a much user-friendly manner. See, we are human beings, so we can easily understand the concept if we present it in a user-friendly or in a simple way. Each high-level language have its own reserved words like keywords, or each high-level language will have its own syntax. Each high-level language will have its own libraries, etc. We can easily find out errors and we can easily clear out that if we are using a high-level language. If you are programming in C, if you are programming in PHP, if you are programming in Java, if you find out any sort of errors or exceptions, we can easily find out it and we can easily rectify it. And a high-level program or high-level language program cannot get executed directly because a machine cannot able to understand a high-level language. So there comes the importance of a translator. We will use a translator such as compiler or interpreter in order to translate or in order to convert the high-level language into the machine language. So in this slide you can see a lot of high-level languages used in our real world. Next comes up to the assembly language. So what do you mean by an assembly language? Assembly language stands as an intermediator between a high-level language and a machine language. Assembly language is similar to a low-level programming, but it is not much difficult to understand an assembly language like a machine language. A machine language is really tough to understand, but an assembly language is very much easy while comparing to a machine language. Then assembly language is a low-level programming language. The assembly code can be converted into the executable machine code with the help of an assembler. Here we need the help of an assembler in order to translate the code that we are writing in the assembly language to an executable format. Mainly the assembly depends on the machine code instructions. Every assembler has its own assembly language which is designed exactly for one specific computer architectures. In the real world we can see a lot of computer architectures and each assembly code will be very much dependent on that particular computer architecture. So we can say that assembly codes is much machine dependent while comparing to the high-level language code. High-level language code will be much less machine dependent, or we can say that high-level language is independent of the machine while comparing to an assembly language. Assembly language also uses a mnemonic instructions to represent a machine operation. So here you can see some of the keywords related to the assembly language, or some of the instructions present in the assembly language, that is move, add, sub, etc. Move is instructions that is used to indicate the data transfer. Add is instructions used in the assembly language in order to add two different values. Sub is instructions used in assembly language in order to subtract different values. There are a lot of assembly language instructions. So this is some form of instructions used in the assembly language. Next we can see the important language called as machine language, which is very much difficult to understand in the case of human. Machine languages are the only languages understood by computing systems or computers. It is very much difficult to write the programs directly in the machine code because we cannot able to understand the code in a simple manner. And also it is very much difficult to find out the errors in the machine code and also to rectify that particular errors. Usually the machine code will be in the form of 1, 0 or 0, 1. While comparing to the two languages, that is high level and assembly languages, machine code is much complex, and the coding in machine language is a much tedious task. So it is very much difficult to a programmer to code in machine language while comparing with the high level language like C or an assembly language. How a high level language code is translated into a machine code? We have already discussed that how we are translating. So we need the help of two system softwares, that is compiler and interpreter, in order to translate a high level language code into a machine language. So a compiler is actually a computer program that is usually transforms the code written in the high level programming language like C, C++ into the machine code in the form of 1, 0 or 0, 1. Or in another way we can say that it's a program which translates the human readable code. The other meaning of a high level language is human readable code or human understandable code into a language that a computer understands, that is into a binary language. Then interpreter is also doing the same job, that is converting the high level code into a machine code. So why we are using these two? These two are doing the same job. See, these two are doing the translation, that is translating a high level language code into a machine language. Then why we are using these two? These two have a big difference. The compiler transforms the code written in the high level programming language into machine code at once before the program runs. Okay. Whereas an interpreter converts each high level program statement one by one into machine code during the program run. So from these explanations we can definitely say that a compiled code will be running fast while comparing to the interpreted code. An interpreted code will take much time while comparing to a compiled code. So a compiler is translating the high level code into a machine code at once before the program runs, and while the interpreter is converting a high level program statement one by one. Okay. Next we can see what you mean by a software. In the real world we can see a lot of software, right? Our operating system is a software, Adobe Photoshop is a software, VLC player is a software. So what do you mean by software? Software is actually a meaningful collection of programs. Each program is designed to specifically handle certain inputs and specifically display certain outputs. So we can define a software as software is a set of instructions, data or programs used to operate computer or to execute the specific task. See, we need the help of a software in order to operate the computer. Which software is needed to operate the computer? Definitely the answer is operating system. Windows, iOS, Android is an example of the softwares that will help us to operate the computers or the mobile phones. Then we need the help of certain softwares like Adobe Photoshop in order to edit the images. We need the help of certain softwares like VLC player in order to play videos or in order to play the movies. And we need the help of certain softwares, we say that browsers like Mozilla Firefox or Google Chrome, in order to browse or in order to have a connectivity with the internet. So we can treat that softwares as application softwares, or we are using that particular softwares to execute a specially designed task or specific task. A software generally tells the computer how to work, because we can definitely we know that computer is a machine, so a computer definitely need the help of these kinds of softwares in order to perform the particular task. See, we are human, so definitely we have a property, that intelligence. The computer may not have that property by default, so we have to inculcate that property into the computer. So we say that artificial intelligence. So here we are giving instructions to the computer with the help of a software. We are communicating with the help of software to a computer. A software is designed to perform a well-defined function. See, operating system is a system software which is related to the operations, various operations related to the systems like memory management, input-output management, scheduling, etc. So a software is specially designed to perform a well-defined function. A program is a particular sequence of instructions written to solve a particular problem. So a software can be treated as a meaningful collection and the logically related collections of different programs that is able to handle a sequence of problem. Then in the software category, we can generally see two sections. The software can be divided into two categories. The first one is called as a system software and the second one is called as an application software. So what do you mean by system software? So before moving on to our practical, or before moving to our example, we can treat our brain as similar to a system software. A brain is an important part of a human being. We are getting instructions, we are controlled by the various activities performed in our brain. So actually brain is operating as. Without the help of a brain, we cannot able to communicate, we cannot able to move, we cannot able to convey our ideas, we cannot able to express our ideas. So a brain is an important software related to a human being. So our brain can be treated as a system software because it will help us to operate. So it is giving a life to a human being. It is controlling us. Then in the real world we can see a lot of application softwares. We are using watches in order to access time or in order to know time. We are using calculators in order to calculate certain values. We are using headsets in order to listen to music or in order to listen to the classes. So these items can be treated as an application software. Why we are calling these as an application software? Because these softwares is specially designed to do a specific task. See, calculator is designed to perform calculation. Watch is designed to know our time, know our real world time. Headphones are designed to convey the audio level information to a human being. So application softwares are specifically designed to perform certain tasks, and a system software will have an overall control of a system. Now we can see an examples of a real system software and an application software. Windows, iOS, Android. As we all know, these are one of the top operating systems existing in our real world. So Windows, iOS, Android, etc. can be treated as a system software because these softwares will be acting as a user interface between a machine named as computer or mobile phones and a human being. This system software will coordinate the activities in these kinds of computing systems. And Adobe Reader, Photoshop, VLC players, etc. can be treated as an application software. Adobe Readers is used to open a particular portable document format document, that is PDF documents, and Photoshop is used for image editing purposes, and VLC player is used for playing the musics or used to play the videos. So each of these kinds of softwares will have a specific job, or they are being developed to perform certain special tasks. So these softwares can be treated as an application software. So we can move on to an explanation of a system software. System software is a software that is designed to provide a platform for other software. It is actually creating an environment or platform. Above that platform, we are installing various applications or application softwares. A system software is used to manage the behavior of a computer hardware in order to offer basic functionalities which is needed for a user. So an operating system is an example of a system software. Actually, operating systems will act like a user interface between a machine and a human being. System softwares consist of a variety of programs that support the operations, various operations in a computer. It will help us to switch on the computer, it will help us to switch off the computer, it will help us to manage the various memory related tasks in a computer, it will help us to coordinate the activities that is taking place in a computer, it will help us to coordinate the working of various input output elements connected to the computer. So a system software can run independently, it provides a platform for running the application software. So if any sort of errors or if any sort of virus attack is taking place in a system software, then the operation of a computer will get totally affected. The examples of system softwares are operating system, device drivers, etc. Next, a system software is designed to manage the various system resources in a computer. The major task of a system software is to manage these activities. That is, proper memory management should be there. We can classify the memory of a system into two, that is internal memory and an external memory. A system software has to coordinate these two memories. Then the process management or the processor management should be there. Then the proper protection to the various elements present in the system should be there. Or the operating system need to avoid the vulnerability issues. The operating system or the system software need to coordinate the input-output elements, need to coordinate the activities that is taking place in a system. So these are the major tasks related to a system software. And also a system software need to perform proper scheduling in order to avoid the critical situations like deadlock. Okay. Next, we will move on to the second category of software, that is application software. An application software is specially designed to perform a certain task depending upon how it is been designed. It cannot perform any other task that is beyond its scope. See, Adobe Photoshop is a system software. We are specifically using that system software in order to perform the image editing process. We cannot use Adobe Photoshop to play a particular video. We are not using Adobe Photoshop for browsing. Adobe Photoshop is specifically designed to perform image editing purposes. So, an application software is specifically designed to perform certain actions. Application software cannot run independently like a system software like operating systems, because an application software is working on a platform like operating systems, like various operating systems like Windows, Android, iOS, etc. So an application software cannot run independently. It is dependent on the operating system. They cannot run without the presence of the system software. Application software run in accordance to the user's request. It will run in the foreground. So application software will give much prominent importance to the user interfaces. It will have an interactions with the user. It will collect input from the users, and it will have an interactions, various kinds of interactions, and interactions will be in the form of images, interactions will be in the form of graphics, and interactions will be in the form of video. So it will collect the user's request and will respond to the user's request. So application softwares will give importance to the graphical user interface. A high-level language, we are using the high-level language in order to develop the particular application softwares, or in order to develop the particular applications. The applications which will be running on the Windows will be in the form of .exe, will have an extension .exe, that is executable form. For example, MS Office, Adobe Photoshop is an example of the softwares that will be used in an operating systems like Windows. We will use the concept called app or applications in mobile platform, and there we need an extension of .apk while we are using the Android operating systems. So that we are using WhatsApp is an application, Google Duos is an application, Facebook is an application, Twitter is an applications. We are using that applications, so that applications can be also treated as an application software, but they are using in mobiles. So application software is generally designed to perform a specific task. We are using high-level language in order to develop these particular applications. So these are the examples of various application software. Microsoft Office is a collection of package. Then VLC Player is another application software. Adobe Reader is an application software. In our real world, we can see a lot of application software. These application softwares is working with the help of a system software named as operating system.
So friends, now we are going to summarize our topic. We are summarizing in Malayalam. നമ്മൾ ഇത്രയും നേരം കണ്ടത് പ്രോഗ്രാമിംഗ് ലാംഗ്വേജുകളെ പറ്റിയും അതുപോലെ തന്നെ സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയറിനും ആയിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്. ലോകത്ത് നമ്മൾ പല രീതിയിലുള്ള പ്രോഗ്രാമിംഗ് ലാംഗ്വേജുകൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട്. അതിന്റെ മേജർ ആയിട്ടുള്ള കുറെ എക്സാമ്പിളുകളാണ് C++, ജാവ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ലാംഗ്വേജ്. എന്തിനാണ് നമ്മൾ ഈ പ്രോഗ്രാമിംഗ് ലാംഗ്വേജ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ, ഒരു കമ്പ്യൂട്ടറുമായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ഇന്ററാക്ഷൻ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കമ്പ്യൂട്ടറിലേക്ക് ഇൻസ്ട്രക്ഷൻസുകൾ കൊടുക്കാൻ, കമ്പ്യൂട്ടറിന് മനസ്സിലാവുന്ന ഭാഷയിൽ കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ ഒക്കെ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ ഈ പറയുന്ന പ്രോഗ്രാമിംഗ് ലാംഗ്വേജുകൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുക. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവുന്ന ലാംഗ്വേജുകളെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ഹൈ ലെവൽ ലാംഗ്വേജ് എന്ന് പറയുക. ആ ലാംഗ്വേജ് എഴുതിയിരിക്കുന്ന ഭാഷ ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലാണ്. ദെൻ രണ്ടാമത്തെ കാറ്റഗറി ഓഫ് ലാംഗ്വേജിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ഒരു അസംബ്ലി ലാംഗ്വേജ് എന്ന് പറയുക. ഒരു മനുഷ്യന് അസംബ്ലി ലാംഗ്വേജ് ഉപയോഗിച്ച് പ്രോഗ്രാം ചെയ്യാം, പക്ഷേ എളുപ്പത്തിൽ പ്രോഗ്രാം ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഒരു ഭാഷയാണ് നമ്മൾ ഹൈ ലെവൽ ലാംഗ്വേജ് എന്ന് പറയുക. അസംബ്ലി ലാംഗ്വേജ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഹൈ ലെവൽ ലാംഗ്വേജിന്റെയും മെഷീൻ ലാംഗ്വേജിന്റെയും ഇടയിൽ ഉള്ള ഒരു ലാംഗ്വേജിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ അസംബ്ലി ലാംഗ്വേജ് എന്ന് പറയുക. ദെൻ അതിനുശേഷം ഒരു മെഷീന് മനസ്സിലാവുന്ന ഭാഷയെ നമ്മൾ പറയുന്ന പേരാണ് മെഷീൻ ലാംഗ്വേജ്. ആ ലാംഗ്വേജിനകത്തുള്ള ഭാഷ എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ അത് 1000010 എന്നുള്ള ഫോമിലായിരിക്കും. ആ ഫോമിനെ നമ്മൾ പറയുന്ന വേറൊരു പേരാണ് ബൈനറി ലാംഗ്വേജ് എന്ന് പറയുക. ഒരിക്കലും ഒരു മെഷീന് മനസ്സിലാവുന്ന ഭാഷ ഒരു മനുഷ്യന് മനസ്സിലാവുന്നതല്ല. അപ്പൊ മനുഷ്യന് മനസ്സിലാവുന്ന ഭാഷ മെഷീനിൽ മനസ്സിലാവാനും മെഷീന് മനസ്സിലാവുന്ന ഭാഷ മനുഷ്യരിലേക്ക് എത്തിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടും നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ ആണ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു പ്രോഗ്രാമിന്റെ ഒരു കളക്ഷനാണ് കമ്പൈലർ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇന്റർപ്രറ്റർ എന്ന് നമ്മൾ പറയുക. ഹൈ ലെവൽ ലാംഗ്വേജിനെ ലോ ലെവൽ ലാംഗ്വേജിലേക്ക് കൺവേർട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു കോൺസെപ്റ്റാണ് കമ്പൈലർ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇന്റർപ്രറ്റർ. അപ്പൊ അതാണ് നമ്മൾ പ്രോഗ്രാമിംഗ് ലാംഗ്വേജസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന സെക്ഷനിൽ കണ്ടത്. then അതിനുശേഷം നമ്മൾ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്തൊരു ടോപ്പിക് ആയിരുന്നു സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ. സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ എന്ന് പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ കുറെ മീനിങ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള പ്രോഗ്രാമുകളുടെ ലോജിക്കലി റിലേറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള കളക്ഷനെയാണ് നമ്മളൊരു സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ എന്ന് പറയുക. അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെ വരുന്ന സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയറിനെ നമുക്ക് രണ്ട് ഭാഗങ്ങളായിട്ട് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്യാം. ഒരു ഭാഗമാണ് ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ, ഒരു ഭാഗമാണ് സിസ്റ്റം സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ. ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മുടെ ഒരു ഹ്യൂമൻ ബോഡി ഒരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ എടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ ബ്രെയിൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു സിസ്റ്റം സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ ആണ്. കാരണം എന്താന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മുടെ ശരീരഭാഗങ്ങളെ കൺട്രോൾ ചെയ്യുന്നത് നമ്മുടെ ബ്രെയിൻ ആണ്. ഈ പറയുന്ന ഞാൻ സംസാരിക്കുന്ന എന്റെ ബ്രെയിനിന്റെ പ്രോപ്പർ കൺട്രോൾ ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ടാണ്. എന്റെ കൈയിന്റെ പോസ്റ്റേഴ്സ്, എന്റെ ആക്ഷൻസ് എല്ലാം വരുന്നത് ബ്രെയിനിന്റെ ഒരു പ്രോപ്പർ കൺട്രോൾ ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ടാണ്. ബ്രെയിനിന് എന്തെങ്കിലും രീതിയിലുള്ള ഒരു ഡാമേജ് സംഭവിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു മനുഷ്യന് പ്രോപ്പറായിട്ട് പ്രവർത്തിക്കാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കില്ല, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ടോട്ടലി അത് ഒരു ഡിസ്റ്റോർട്ടഡ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ അവസ്ഥയിലേക്ക് പോകും. അപ്പോൾ ബ്രെയിനിനെ നമുക്കൊരു സിസ്റ്റം സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയറുമായിട്ട് താരതമ്യം ചെയ്യാം. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു കമ്പ്യൂട്ടറിന്റെ ഒരു സിസ്റ്റം സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ അതൊന്നില്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ഓപ്പറേറ്റിംഗ് സിസ്റ്റമോ, ഒരു കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ പ്രവർത്തിക്കാൻ ആവശ്യമായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ, ഒരു കമ്പ്യൂട്ടറിന് ഒരു ലൈഫ് കൊടുക്കുന്ന ഒരു സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ ആണ് ഓപ്പറേറ്റിംഗ് സിസ്റ്റം എന്ന് പറയുക. ലോകത്തുള്ള ഏറ്റവും ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഓപ്പറേറ്റിംഗ് സിസ്റ്റങ്ങളാണ് വിൻഡോസ്, ആൻഡ്രോയിഡ്, iOS എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞ ഓപ്പറേറ്റിംഗ് സിസ്റ്റം. അതേപോലെ തന്നെ അപ്പോൾ ആ ഓപ്പറേറ്റിംഗ് സിസ്റ്റം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ആക്ച്വലി എന്താ, ഒരു പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോമാണ് ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ആ പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോമിന്റെ മുകളിൽ നമ്മൾ ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് സ്പെഷ്യൽ ആയിട്ട് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ടി മാത്രം നമ്മൾ ഇൻസ്റ്റാൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയറിനെയാണ് ഒരു ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയറിന്റെ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ആണ് ഫോട്ടോഷോപ്പ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട്. അതെന്തിനാന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ നമ്മുടെ പടങ്ങളെല്ലാം എഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട്, നമ്മുടെ ഇമേജസ് എല്ലാം എഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ ആണ്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ VLC പ്ലെയർ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ യൂസ് ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട്. നമ്മൾ വീഡിയോസ് എല്ലാം കാണാൻ വേണ്ടി യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ പറഞ്ഞ എക്സാമ്പിളിൽ തന്നെ അറിയാം, ഒരു വീഡിയോ കാണാൻ വേണ്ടി മാത്രം അല്ലെ, അപ്പൊ ഒരു വീഡിയോ കാണുക എന്നുള്ളത് മാത്രമാണ് അതിന്റെ ഒരു ജോലി, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിന്റെ ഒരു സ്പെഷ്യലി ഡിസൈൻഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ടാസ്ക് എന്ന് നമുക്ക് പറയാൻ സാധിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു ജോലിക്ക് വേണ്ടി മാത്രം ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്ത് വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ ആണ്. പക്ഷെ ഒരു സിസ്റ്റം സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഓവറോൾ ആയിട്ട് നമ്മുടെ കമ്പ്യൂട്ടിംഗ് സിസ്റ്റത്തിനെ കൺട്രോൾ ചെയ്യും. അത് മെമ്മറി മാനേജ് ചെയ്യുന്നതായാലും ഇൻപുട്ട് ഔട്ട്പുട്ട് കാര്യങ്ങളെ മാനേജ് ചെയ്യുന്നതായാലും പ്രോസസ്സിങ്ങിന്റെ മാനേജ്മെന്റ് ആയാലും എല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളെയും ഓവറോൾ ആയിട്ട് കോർഡിനേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയറിനെയാണ് നമ്മളൊരു സിസ്റ്റം സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ എന്ന് പറയുക. അപ്പോൾ ഈ പറയുന്ന രണ്ട് കാര്യങ്ങളാണ് നമ്മൾ ഈ വീഡിയോയിലൂടെ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്തത്. അപ്പോൾ തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഈ വീഡിയോ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ലൈക്ക് ചെയ്യുക, സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യുക, ഈ ചാനലിനെ സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യുക. താങ്ക് യു ആൾ.